Hey everyone, welcome back for another deep dive. We're all about building those good habits, and today we're going to be digging into a concept that I think you're really going to find interesting. It's this whole idea of setting systems rather than goals.
Oh, yeah, I've heard about this.
Yeah, and it comes from this YouTube video that I was watching. The one habit that is changing my life, set systems rather than goals.
Mm-hmm.
It was made by J.D. Williams, and we're going to dive into that video
Yeah.
and see if it can maybe change our lives too.
I'm intrigued. It is kind of funny how, we're always told to set a goal, go for it,
Right.
but we never really think about the steps to get there.
Yeah, it's like we're so focused on the finish line that we forget about, actually running the race.
Exactly.
And Williams actually he illustrates this really well with his personal story.
Okay.
He was struggling with weight loss, feeling kind of frustrated, felt stuck, and his wife, she kind of gave him a little bit of a wake-up call.
Oh, what did she say?
Well, he was basically, looking for a little sympathy, and she just kind of hit him with this truth bomb. She said, well, if you really wanted to lose the weight, you'd create a system to make it happen.
Wow, no kidding. Tough love.
And the amazing thing is, it worked.
Really?
He actually did. He lost 100 pounds.
Mm-hmm.
But I think more importantly, he totally changed his mindset
Yeah.
about achieving goals.
Yeah, because it's not just about the weight loss, right? It's about figuring out a system that really works for you.
Exactly. And what this really highlights is that wanting something isn't enough.
Right.
You need a plan. You need a system that actually takes you from wanting it to actually doing it.
Yeah, and I think that's what a system does, right? It takes that pressure off of, willpower
Yeah.
because it makes action automatic. So you're not constantly thinking, should I do this today? Should I not? It's already decided.
It's like autopilot.
Yeah.
It's guiding you even when you're not feeling motivated.
Love it.
And so Williams, he lays out this 5-step framework for building these effective systems. I'm excited to hear what it is.
Me too. Let's get into it.
All right. So step one, it actually starts with, surprisingly, setting a goal.
So we're still setting goals. I thought we weren't doing that anymore.
I know, right? It seems counterintuitive,
Yeah.
but actually goals, they're still important because
Yes.
they give you direction.
They're like your compass,
Exactly.
pointing you toward, true north.
Yeah. So the goal is like your destination on a map,
Gotcha.
but the system is the vehicle that's actually going to get you there.
Perfect.
And while the destination is important, the route that you take, that can be flexible.
Yeah.
What matters is that you have that goal in mind.
Makes sense.
And so Williams, he gives these examples of goals like, making more money, running a marathon, learning a new language.
Right. Picking up an instrument.
Yeah. Pushing yourself out of your comfort zone no matter what you're interested in.
Yeah, and I think the main thing here is it has to be something that you're genuinely excited about because that's going to fuel your motivation.
Right. Something that challenges you.
Exactly.
All right. So you've got your goal.
Step 2.
Step 2 is forming a strategy.
Okay, so we have our destination, but now we need to figure out how to get there.
Right. How do we map out that best route? And Williams, he suggests asking ourselves 2 key questions.
All right, what are they?
The first one is, what has worked for me in the past?
Okay, so looking back at your own experiences.
Yeah. And the second question is, what has worked for other people?
So learning from other successes.
Right. And I love this because it combines your own personal experience with learning from people who have already done it.
Yeah, it's like you have your own personal brainstorming session, but you're also bringing in, the wisdom of the crowds.
And it's actually backed by research, right?
Oh, really?
We learn best from experience and from observing other people.
Hmm?
It's like we're hardwired to pick up tips and tricks from people who have already achieved what we want to achieve.
Fascinating.
Yeah. So step 2 is all about gathering that information
Okay.
and sifting through those, golden nuggets of
They
wisdom
like that golden nuggets.
and then crafting a roadmap that's actually based on proven methods.
Makes sense.
Makes sense.
Yeah.
All right. We've got our goal. We've got our strategy.
What's next?
Step 3 is where it gets really interesting.
Ooh, tell me more.
Williams calls it, take the one-time actions first.
One-time actions.
Yeah, these are like high leverage actions, things that can have a big impact on your progress.
Okay, give me some examples.
Like investing in a coach,
Oh, yeah, that's a good one.
joining a mastermind group, even making bets with friends to hold yourself accountable.
Ooh, I like that.
Yeah. These actions are all about setting yourself up for success. You're removing obstacles, giving yourself the best possible resources.
Right. It's about being strategic.
Exactly. And it kind of reminds me of the 80-20 principle.
Oh, yeah.
The idea that a small number of actions can actually lead to a big chunk of the results.
Right. So focusing on those high impact activities.
Exactly. Step 3 is about strategically investing in actions that are going to have the biggest impact.
All right. So we've taken those one-time actions. We've set ourselves up for success. What's next?
Now it's time for the consistent action. That's step 4.
This is where the rubber meets the road.
Right. So we're creating a system for daily or weekly action. It's about turning that intention into actual concrete steps.
Got it. So how do we do that?
Well, Williams, he uses this example. He wanted to attract 25 new members to his gym.
Okay. Ambitious goal.
Yeah. So his daily action was to talk to 5 new people every day.
Simple but effective.
Right. It's so easy to get overwhelmed by a big goal.
Right.
But when you break it down into those daily actions, suddenly it feels a lot more achievable.
Makes a lot of sense.
So it begs the question, what would this look like for you?
For me?
Yeah. If you want to write a book,
Yeah.
maybe it's writing for 30 minutes every morning. Or if you're learning a language, maybe it's studying vocab for 15 minutes each day.
Yeah. Find that small thing that you can actually commit to.
And do it consistently. All right, we've got our daily system in place. Now it's time for step 5.
Step 5.
Commit to action. This is where Williams introduces his 130-100 rule.
Okay. I'm not familiar with this. Tell me more.
It's all about gradually building momentum and solidifying that commitment.
All right. How does it work?
It starts with a 10-day challenge. You go all in, 100% compliance with whatever that daily action is that you chose.
Okay. So for 10 days, you're completely committed.
Yeah. And it's not even about achieving huge results in those 10 days. It's about showing yourself that you can stick to the plan.
Building that foundation.
Exactly. And then after those 10 days, you move to the next phase.
Okay. So what happens next? So what happens after those 10 days of, really proving to yourself that you can do it?
Well, the next 30 days, you aim for 90% compliance.
90%. So it's okay to miss a few days.
Except like life happens, right?
Of course.
You're not going to be perfect,
Right.
but you're still moving forward. And then for the final 100 days,
100 days.
you're really in it to win it. 80% compliance.
Yeah.
Acknowledging that life is going to throw you some curveballs.
Right.
It's fascinating how this rule actually taps into the psychology of forming habits. You start small, you build that momentum through small wins, and then as you see yourself making progress, that actually fuels you to continue.
Yeah. It's like a snowball effect. You start small, but then it just keeps getting bigger and bigger.
I love that.
Oh.
Okay, so we've covered a lot, right?
Yeah.
We've got the goal, the strategy, those one-time actions, the daily system, and now this commitment strategy.
It's a lot to take in, but it's exciting. It feels like we've got this whole toolkit for success.
Yeah, it's really powerful.
Okay, so let's bring this to life a little bit.
Okay.
Let's say someone wants to, I don't know, launch their own business.
Okay, yeah.
But they just keep putting it off. How can they use this system?
That's a great example. Okay, so first, they got to get crystal clear on their goal.
So instead of just saying launch a business.
Yeah, something more specific like launch an online store and make my first sale within 3 months.
Okay, so it's measurable. You know exactly what success looks like.
Exactly. Okay, so we've got that clear target. Now, what about strategy? How do they figure that out?
Well, they can start by looking at what's worked for other entrepreneurs. Right. Read some case studies. Dive into their launch strategy.
Look for those patterns.
And also think back to their own experiences. Have they ever launched anything before? What worked? What didn't work?
So it's a combo of external research and internal reflection.
Exactly. Taking all of that information and putting it together.
So they've got their puzzle pieces. Now, what about those one-time actions?
Well, they could invest in a course, learn about e-commerce marketing,
Yeah.
hire a coach,
Yeah.
maybe even join like a community of entrepreneurs to get that support.
It's like they're building their dream team and giving themselves the tools they need.
Right. And then, of course, the daily actions. Maybe spending an hour every day building their website, writing product descriptions, engaging with potential customers on social media.
Yeah. It's about taking that big, scary goal and breaking it down into these smaller, doable steps.
Right. And then using that 130-100 rule to stay on track.
Yes. Starting with that 10-day challenge, then easing up a bit, and then for the final 100 days, really pushing through.
Okay, I love it. And this doesn't just apply to starting a business, right?
Of course not. This could be used for any goal, literally any area of life where you want to improve.
Absolutely.
Like, let's say someone wants to get in shape. They want to run a 5K.
A 5K.
That's right.
Yeah.
So first, they got to become a student of the 5K, right? Research training plans.
Find one that works for their current fitness level.
Yeah. Maybe join a running group, connect with other runners.
Find that community.
Yes. Now, for the one-time actions,
They could get some good running shoes. Maybe a fitness tracker?
maybe even a session with a running coach.
Yeah.
Get some expert advice.
Exactly. And then those daily actions.
Maybe running 3 times a week, following that training plan.
Maybe some strength training to prevent injuries.
Right. And using the 130-100 rule to stay consistent.
Love it. And you know what's really cool about this?
What's that?
It's all about customization.
Right. What works for one person isn't going to work for everyone.
You got to find what fits your lifestyle, your preferences, your needs.
Yeah, it's not about following some cookie-cutter plan.
Exactly. It's about finding your own path. And it's a journey, right? It's not a race. You're going to experiment. You're going to tweak things along the way.
That's so important to remember. It's not about being perfect. It's about finding what works and sticking with it.
Absolutely. And I think that's the biggest shift here.
What's that?
We're moving away from focusing on that end goal.
Right.
And we're starting to appreciate the journey itself. Finding joy in those daily actions, celebrating those little wins, and really embracing the power of consistent action.
Yeah, it's so easy to get caught up in that end goal that we forget about all the amazing things that are happening along the way.
Right. And when you find that joy in the process, that's when the real magic happens. That's when you start to unlock your full potential.
That's so inspiring. Welcome back, everyone. It feels like we've just unlocked some serious secrets to success.
Well, I know, right? This whole idea of building systems instead of just focusing on goals, it's so powerful.
Yeah. It's like we've been given this amazing toolkit, and now we just need to learn how to use it.
Exactly. And we've gone through a lot today. We talked about why systems are so important. We broke down Williams' 5-step framework, and we even looked at some real-life examples.
Right. But before we wrap up, I think it would be helpful to just kind of distill everything we've learned. What's that one big takeaway that we want our listeners to remember?
Well, I think the main thing is that systems are the key to actually making things happen. They take that desire, that intention, and turn it into consistent action.
Yeah, it's not enough to just set a goal and hope for the best. You need a plan, a system to guide you along the way.
It's like having a personal trainer for your goals. They keep you on track, they hold you accountable, and they help you make progress.
Right. And just like with any journey, there are going to be bumps in the road.
Oh, absolutely. There will be days when you don't feel motivated or things get in the way.
Yeah, life happens. But that's where systems are so valuable. They provide that structure, that support when your willpower starts to fade.
They're like guardrails, keeping you from veering off course. And that's why I love that 130-100 rule that we talked about.
Yeah, it's a great reminder that you don't have to be perfect.
Right, it's about progress, not perfection. It's about having a plan for when you stumble. Because you will stumble.
And it's okay. You just got to get back up and keep going.
Exactly. So as we wrap up, I want to leave our listeners with a little challenge.
Okay, I love a good challenge.
Think about a goal that you've been struggling with. Something that you've started and stopped a million times. What's one small action? Something you can do every day for the next 10 days.
Just 10 days.
Yeah, just to prove to yourself that you can build that consistency.
No more waiting for the perfect time or the perfect plan. Just start, commit to those 10 days and see what happens.
You might be surprised by how much you can achieve. And remember, this isn't just about checking things off a list. It's about creating a life that you're truly excited about. A life that reflects your values, your dreams.
It's about taking control of your journey. This has been such an insightful conversation. Thank you so much for joining us for another deep dive.
It's been a pleasure.
And remember, everyone, you have the power to make amazing things happen. So go out there, build those systems, and watch those dreams come true.